Hey friends, this is the Mrs. Wolfie from our half acre homestead. If you haven't noticed, I didn't have a video up this morning. My computer crashed again. And that's part of what the topic of this tea break is about, part of it. But first and foremost, I want to answer a question from Ginger. Ginger says, what is the percentage of losses we can expect from turkey poults? Okay, well, that depends, Ginger. That depends. Are you hatching your own or are you buying your own? Are you buying large whites or are you buying a heritage breed? Heritage breeds are more sturdy. They're more, they're more healthy. I don't want to say that the other poults are not healthy, but I do want to say that heritage breeds have more chutzpah, so to speak. So if you're buying them as day-old chicks, there's some things you can do to combat the mortality rate in your turkey poults. When you pick them up, have a tumbler or something of room temperature warm water to give them a drink. Okay? The moment you pick them up at whatever store you're picking them up at, open the box, check for make sure they're all alive, and then dip their beaks. Just their beaks, dip them once, dip them twice. That gives them a little drink to get them home. Also, you want to make sure that your brooder is ready and warm at 98 degrees or whatever the case may be, and that their water is there and that their food is there and that you show them where it is. Again, you dip their beak in the water as you're putting them in the brooder to A, give them a little drink, and B, to let them know where the water is. Now, the water has to be lukewarm. It has to be body temperature. You can kill turkey poults if you give them a drink of cold water when they're day olds, or even for the first week, because they'll catch a chill from it, an internal chill, and it can kill them. So if you want to make sure that you're encouraging them to eat, then hard boil an egg. Make sure it's hard boil, and then mash it up and crumble it up into crumb and put it on top of their food, and show them where that is, and that will encourage them to eat. Depending, the percentage of losses is hard to say. I don't lose when I buy them. I don't lose them. I hatch my own, and out of the 5 I hatched from my test batch, 1 did die. So if you look at those numbers, that's a 20%. But if you're getting, say, 40 of them, you can expect to lose maybe 1 or 2. But if you do everything you can, have your brooder set up, have the water set up and all that stuff, then, there's no reason why you should, unless they're sickly to begin with. Okay? Anyway, why am I doing this tea break video today? One of the reasons is I got caught in a virus. And my computer crashed yesterday. So I spent the entire day yesterday getting my computer back up and running. And it's still iffy. But what happened was I got an email from one of you folks, and it's not your fault. I'm going to tell you this, it's not your fault. But I did send you an email and tell you that your email has been hacked. I got an email from one of my subscribers, and it had a link in it, and I get links all the time because people email me and say, here, have a look at this, and what do you think of that? And I can't always watch them because I'm just honestly way too busy. But this link had been sent to me before by the same person, so I assumed that it was really something they wanted me to see. Now, if I had been thinking, I would have noticed that it did not say anything like, check this out, or this, you may find this interesting to do a rant on, or anything like that. It just was a link. And in their carbon copy box below their address line, there was dozens of names. So it was being sent out to a lot of people. Again, not uncommon when someone is sending out a link to, say, a whole bunch of other YouTube channels. So I clicked it. And immediately a Microsoft window came up going beep, 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 beep. And there's a thing coming up saying, you know, you've allowed a virus into you. There's a virus into your computer, and if you don't call this number right now, you know, you could lose your credit card information, yada, 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 yada. And instinctively, I grabbed the phone and I called the number. The line was busy. I tried again. The line was busy. Now, that was my first clue, okay, that this was not legit. Because if it was that important, and if this was a hotline for help before your computer crashes, there would always be somebody there. And if not, they would say, hold a moment, please, or how can I direct your call? Not a busy signal. Never a busy signal, okay? Never a busy signal on a corporation thing. They'll put you on hold, but they won't not miss your call. They won't miss your call, right? So then I took the link, and it wouldn't let me it wouldn't let me close it. I had to restart my computer, which is always a dangerous thing, because if you have a worm, then the worm can get in and do all sorts of nasty stuff. Shutting off your computer can activate it, but I had no choice. So when it started up again, okay, I went, So I took the link that was in my email and I opened a new Google window and I put the link in the search bar. And this time I got a big red sign saying, you know, Google says you've got a problem, right? So call this number. So I called this number and I got George from Mumbai. Well, that's what I say. I got some barely distinguishable English person speaking, barely distinguishable. And they said, okay, shut off your computer and blah, blah, blah. And I said, wait a second. How do I know you are who you say you are? Well, you phoned the number, didn't you? And I said, yes. And they said, well, we're here to help you fix your computer. And I said, what's wrong with my computer? He said, well, tell me the error message. So I told him the error message. And he said, oh, that's bad. He said, you better shut off your computer and we'll start from scratch. And I went, just a second. What does that symbol mean? And he couldn't tell me. So I said, how do I know you aren't a scam artist? Well, he said, you phoned me and you know, it's a problem with your Windows and yada, yada, yada. I said, and how do you know it's a problem with my Windows? He said, well, you're obviously running 7, 8, 8.1 or 10. And I said, isn't everybody? So he couldn't actually convince me that he worked for Microsoft. So I hung up the phone and I shut off my computer. And then I immediately went into defense mode and wiped my hard drive. I do that a lot, folks. I've learned how to do it, but nowadays they make it easy for you. They just say, you know, you just Google it, or if it doesn't work, you just keep shutting off your computer with the main power source. Don't do that because you're shutting it down incorrectly and you can use files. But when your computer's screwed, I shut it off a couple of times and something comes up and says, how can we help to fix it? And it's an immediate fix. So I've spent all day yesterday fixing my computer and starting from scratch. So that's what happened. Now, coming back to this, they are getting really, really good at blindsiding us with things like a black page that has the Microsoft symbol on it, or the red page with the Google, and call this number and all this stuff. They're not just calling your house anymore saying you're getting a lot of error messages, because we don't get a lot of error messages anymore, right? So now they've stepped up their game, and and the reason I'm telling you this, folks, is because that email that I got was obviously going to dozens of other people. Apparently, I'm really sorry to say, but apparently this person's email had been hacked, and this was being sent out to everybody in their mailbox. Now, until I hear back from this person, because if their email's hacked, I may never hear back from them, and they may have to change their email address. But I'm saying, please, folks, If you get an email from me and all it is a link, and there is no subject, there is no, Mrs. V signature thing, then don't open it. But do email me and tell me you got sent it. Because if that's the case, my computer's fried. Yes, Gracie, settle down, please. She's upset because I put her in her crate for the duration of this video. So anyway, that's what's going on. I've spent the day yesterday and now part of this morning putting my computer back together. And I still have to take it apart and clean the heat sink again because it's getting hot every once in a while. So I'll be doing that soon. Papa and I are almost finished the fruit trees and the garden out back. The garden out back is in. We were just waiting for a load of soil because Daddy built me a beautiful... Oh, the poor baby. Gracie, hush! No! He built a beautiful flower bed. Well, we call it a flower bed for lack of a better term, but in front of the porch and across the front of the addition and down the side of the addition, to which I spent getting chewed my butt off by black flies putting in flowers. But we were waiting for another truckload of soil from our friend Jimmy Carroll, and this is well-rotted manure, folks. This is composted manure that is just amazing, full of red wigglers. I'm so excited. Anyway, to fill in the biggest part of the flower bed before we could plant our apricot trees. So I have been taking video. We're not done enough yet for me to show you everything that has been done. All right, so that video is coming soon, and so is another one or two if I can get my stuff together. Howie and I, he's getting off early. We've got to take our son to a notary so that we can swear he's our son, and then he can get his health card and all that stuff. So anyway, this is the Mrs. Wolfie from our half-acre homestead saying, be ever vigilant. If you don't know for 100% certain that what this person is sending you, what this link is that this person is sending you, email them and say, did you send this to me? And if they say no, say then your email has been hacked. But folks, unless you're 100% certain of it, do not click those links. Because what happens is when you click that link and this comes up, and it says phone this number, your computer's about to crash, and you phone that number, you're going to get somebody who's going to be very, very helpful. Very helpful. They're going to get you to shut off your computer, and then they're going to go through the process of, now beware this term, I need to remotely link to your computer. Don't ever allow somebody you don't know and 100% trust remotely linked to your computer, because what that means is you're giving them access to everything in your computer. Bank accounts, credit card numbers, passwords, family names and numbers, and then the whole ball of wax starts all over again for somebody else, and you have had your identity stolen, or at the very least your credit card information and your bank information. So, in times like this, we have to be ever vigilant. Take care. God bless.